Hello, 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 hello. Whether you're joining us live on Facebook or YouTube or you're watching the rebroadcast, it's a pleasure to have you here. Can you believe it? We're at episode 4 of the Serenity Resource Connector. We've had some really engaging conversations so far with the different agencies and service providers, and this afternoon will be no different. We will be looking at the grants and sponsorship opportunities. And we have with us this afternoon, we're going to start the conversation with Jamaica 4-H clubs. They were on last week sharing about their skills opportunities. Now they're back to tell us about the opportunities that they have for funding. So stay tuned. You do not want to miss this. And just remember to share as we get other persons the information. So let me bring on Miss Carr to join
Good
me.
afternoon.
Hi, Miss Carr. It's great to see you. We've been talking for a
Thanks for
little
having
while.
me.
Oh,
Yes,
fantastic. Really great to see you. All right.
thanks for
So,
having me.
great. All right. Let's do some intro. Tell us who Miss Carr is and what role you play at the 4-H Club. How long have you been with the family and all of those things?
All right. Good afternoon, viewers and listeners. My name is Bernita Carr, Training and Placement Coordinator of the Jamaica Forge Club. I've been employed with the Jamaica Forge Clubs for 2 years now. However, as a trained teacher, I've been integral in the 4-H clubs, forming the 4-H club. I was also a board member or board director of the Jamaica 4-H Club. So now I am employed here as a training coordinator, coordinate the training for the 14 parishes. So my task is a little bit tedious.
That's a whole lot, 14 parishes.
Can I tell you, at community, including the schools, different schools, community clubs, church clubs, it's a whole lot.
All right. Tell us a little more about that. You said church clubs. Tell me some more about that part. I had no idea about that part, and I'm sure a number of people don't. So let's hear some more about how the church comes in different clubs.
All right, so the Jamaica 4-H clubs, we are not just limited to school clubs, but we extend ourselves to persons outside of the school community where community clubs are formed. Some are formed through the different churches, some coincides with police youth clubs and so forth. So we are far-fetched in different communities island-wide.
Okay. So for those churches who would want to come on board that are not yet a part of the 4-H club family, how do they get on?
All right, so what they can do, they can visit the Jamaica 4-H Club website for additional information, or they can locate the 4-H parish office and they can get additional information as how they can register and get their club started.
That sounds really interesting because I know that we have a lot of young people who could get actively engaged. Is it for just the young people or the young at heart?
At any age, young at heart, any age, we facilitate you.
That is good. That is good because I remember we had a conversation some years ago with the senior citizens division of the Ministry of Labor and Social
Right.
Security, and I see where they're having that program. One of the recommendations that were made, they're actually implementing to have the that kind of cohesion between the young at heart and the younger generation. So it's great to hear
Yes, a
because we want
mixture
to
is
make
good. A
sure that
mixture is good.
yes, really love
And
that.
and what And one of the other thing too, remember sometimes we have retired teachers who would have been our 4-H leaders. And so they are, they get involved to share their knowledge and skills with the younger persons within their community.
Indeed, and let the retirees know that being retired doesn't mean that they cannot continue to share because they need to pass on the heritage.
Share
So we keep it alive, right? All right,
that legacy.
oh
That's
yes,
correct. That's correct.
I love it. All right, so for this afternoon, I noticed there are two primary scholarships that Jamaica 4-H Club offers, and I really want to hear some more. I did my research, but I want to hear from you about those two scholarships and how we can access those, our young people, our young at heart. So go right into telling us about
All
those
right,
two
so
scholarships.
all right, so first I'll speak about the Rio Tinto, the Alcon Legacy Scholarship Fund. That is our biggest scholarship program that we tend to offer through the Jamaica Forge Clubs. All right, so just a little background. The Alcon Legacy Scholarship Fund it began in 2010 as an initiative by the Rio Tinto Alcon Incorporation. Now, the program is funded through funds invested in Jamaica under the management of the Development Bank, that is the DBJ. Right? The funds reflect Alcon's legacy as well as the long-standing relationship with the government of Jamaica, right? And well, some persons may not be aware that they were operating here for 59 years. And so to keep their legacy alive, they left this scholarship fund that is being monitored by the Jamaica Forge Club.
That is really good stuff that they came, but they left their mark and didn't just leave without leaving something tangible behind. That is really good
Right.
to hear. But I should share
Great.
with you though that a conversation I saw in a business group in Clarendon when the flyer was posted about the scholarship, and the question was, why not Clarendon? Why just those select three parishes? So tell us about that.
All right, so the selected three parishes, it was based on the agreement that Alcon would have signed with the Jamaica government before they actually left, because their business would have been centered around those three parishes, Manchester, St. Anne, and St. Catherine. And so we can't change that at this time. We just have to work with the flow.
And that is understandable because even while they were here, and I know even with Jamalco, they usually provide whatever initiative they have is usually for those living within the vicinity of where they operate, giving back to the community. So we can appreciate that. And I trust that after seeing this and hearing the rationale, that would have answered the question that was posed. I was really itching to have this conversation with you to answer that question when I saw it. All
Okay.
right. Yes.
Great.
So,
All right, so the scholarship.
at Jamaica 4-H, discovered by the scholarship.
All right, so it's a agricultural scholarships and bursaries, and these are attainable at secondary, vocational, and tertiary institutions, and persons grade 9 up to Cape level. Right? It covers
Okay.
tuition, transportation, lunch, books, uniform, and agricultural tools. And just to tell you though, that since the inception, we took on this initiative in 2013, and we would have disbursed to 1,451 students thus far. With the
Mhm.
last year, we disbursed 342 disbursaries to students. And I think this is one of the largest scholarship that we have here in Jamaica.
Okay. All right. So you just shed some additional light there in terms of the fact that it's not that they have to do a program with the Jamaica 4-H clubs once they're going to any of those tertiary high school. Did you say high school tertiary or just tertiary?
Secondary or vocational and tertiary.
Okay. Whoa, that's a wide cross section. No wonder you've done
Right.
so much.
Yes,
Right.
yes, but they must be pursuing some agriculture academic. It must be in agriculture. So we can't miss that aspect of it because it's an agriculture scholarship and bursary program.
All right. Definitely. All right. Let's drill down a little bit. You said secondary. Are you talking about high school? Once you're doing high school at the CSEC level, I keep saying CXC, dating myself. Yes. So once they're doing any agricultural studies at the CSEC level, they can benefit from.
It doesn't have to be at the CSEC level. I know for some secondary schools, they tend to do agriculture starting at ninth grade. So once you start at ninth grade, leading up to CSEC, you're eligible to participate in the program.
This is really great. I'm going to ensure that all my high schools are aware of it, that the information is passed on, because this is news to me, and I'm sure it's news to a whole lot of people. So this is really great information. What about
Right.
the other one? There was a second scholarship that I saw there. What about that other one?
The one you're referring to, the Earth University program.
Right.
All right, so the Earth University program is again operated through the Jamaica 4-H clubs, where we would send out information and application forms where persons would have their tuition would have been fully paid. They would be sent to Earth University with the guidance of the Jamaica 4-H club, so to speak. And if the program, I think it's three-year program with full tuition. And so I think that is magnificent. There's no ties back to Jamaica. But one of the things that we observe is that when the persons come back, they tend to teach our young people the language, and it comes back to cultural exchange,
Right.
so to speak. So I am telling you, Jamaica 4-H Club is doing so much in this country. Not only do we offer the Alcan Legacy Scholarship, there are other small grants program that we would take on as well. I know for Hanover, we would use scholarships from the Hanover Charities Foundation. Again, they would support persons in Hanover through the agriculture training program as well. So we are spreading our wings to ensure that our young people who have invested interest in agriculture training, we support them as much as possible.
That is really great information. So what about the other parishes? What's the process for other entities to come on board to make these grants available? Spread it
All right,
across
so
the island.
different parishes would have taken on different initiatives to provide small grants and bursaries within their parishes. And so those information would be shared across their social media page within the parishes. What we also offer is a REAP program where we cater to persons outside of the high school setting, not necessarily a scholarship, but we provide grant inputs for them in their agriculture enterprise as well.
Okay, tell us what those grants look like. We
All
want to
right,
get
so those
persons excited about coming to access those grants.
all right, so for the reprogram though, we started I think it was in 2011. We started as a rebuilder where persons would have been trained in their specific training areas like general agriculture and the livestock development. That program persons would access $100,000 to enhance their enterprise. So what we do, we look at the COVID situation and we said, why not split it? So we say instead of providing one person with $100,000, we provide grant input of $50,000. So we spread it to more persons across the 14 parishes. So we would have trained them in agribusiness and their technical skill area and provide the inputs and the technical support and guide them for 2 years.
Okay, so what does that guidance look like?
It's basically ensuring that they're keeping their books, the record keeping, monitoring their business, growing, because you don't want to give somebody something for this month and when they read the production, it's done there. So we keep up with them, monitor, and ensure that the enterprise grow over time.
Yeah, yes. And with that kind of conversation, you're definitely going to be back on the Serenity Resource Connector, because that's where we're going to be moving into next in terms of providing that kind of nurturing guidance for those getting into business. So you're going to be back on. All right. And let's see Carol
Not a
sharing on,
problem.
yes, Carol sharing on YouTube. Let me add it here that the Jamaica 4-H Clubs continues to provide opportunities for youth in agriculture. And I usually tell my young people, agriculture is big business. And here it is. Jamaica 4-H clubs provided you that guidance so that you can begin to appreciate the fact that you are actually running a business.
Yes,
Because part of the
that's
challenge
correct.
is because we are used to agriculture just being you seen your grandfather, great grandfather going out to the bush and getting things for the or so on for the family. But agriculture is really big business. I remember my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, he was into cocoa and what was it, chocolate at the time, aki, those kind of things. And it was really great when you saw the van coming and loading up with all these things. So it is still, and you have so many other opportunities for agriculture. All right, quickly share with us some of the other opportunities because sometimes our young people believe it's just going to the farm and getting things done. Agriculture has really expanded
Yes, evolve.
the
They have
years, yeah,
evolved. And here
evolved.
at the
Yes.
Jamaica Forage Clubs too, what we try to do is to encourage young persons to look at the technology side of it, where they're able to create and innovate new technologies to improve their crop production. So we are also about utilizing technology within the agriculture sector. As you mentioned, other opportunities, we're in collaboration with the Heart Trust NTA. We're actually working to certify persons who already have their enterprise out there and providing them with a job certification. We're certifying them on the job with their level 2 certificate. And so we want to keep them up and about, different um, farmer programs are coming on board, and we know that we want our farmers to be a cut above the rest of the other persons. And so providing them with this certification, we know Heart Trust certificate is international. And
Yes.
so we are providing them with that opportunity. So we are not just training you and leaving you, we are also guiding you to the next level. We also provide master level training opportunities for our youth as well,
That is
right?
really great.
So
Really
we're
great.
big on training, yes, training our youth.
Yeah, yes, because that is very important because the part of the challenge a number of the youth have had is when they go through a program and then they're left on their own because they need that kind of hand
Right.
holding to take them to the next level and see that things are going okay. And we know that sometimes they might not have the resources to pay for that kind of technical support. Right. So it's great that the Jamaica 4-H Club and Heart, we have been hearing this partnership, and I repeat it this week. Strategic partnerships are the way to go. And this is how we're going to get more things done as we continue to work together and get more people on board to make those grants available. And we provide the support for our young people who are in farming, show them the other side of agriculture to make it sexier. Not so sure what that is all about, but that's just something. But the important thing is that they know how they can utilize the resources that they have to make their venture more meaningful and more sustainable because we're in the business
Sustainable
of
agriculture.
prosperity. Right. So that is really great. Finally, before you go, not go as in leaving, just stay put just in case any question comes up. Right. In terms of linkages, once you guide them to a particular stage, is there any collaboration with other ministries or so on, or other larger entities for those after they've
Yes,
produced certain stuff and so on? Okay, go ahead and share.
yes, yes. We tend to encourage them to register with RADA, since they are also another training agency. So they would also partner with RADA, being registered as a registered farmer. And also RADA can also assist them with some technical support.
This is great. Really great. What about the Agro Invest?
Yes,
That
we remember we operate under the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. So anything has to do with agriculture, then we would guide them in that direction. Also, another program that we are offering is called the AGAL program, the Agriculture Land Initiative, where persons want to do their farming, but they don't have access to the land. And so here at the Jamaica Forage Club, we are partnering again to ensure that these young people can apply themselves to the program, get the land, and use it to the best of their ability to increase our economic growth and development.
Resources. The resources are out there. It's just for them to know where they are, how to access them. And there are so many different entities that sometimes they're not so sure where exactly to go. And that is why we're here in this space where you can see the linkages and we can talk about the other entities like the outside of the Jamaica Forage Club, the partnership with Heart, with the RADA and the other entities in the overall. Um, what's the ministry, that super ministry that you fall under?
Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries.
Okay, it has been a little bit. It used to be a little longer. All right.
Longer, or it's split.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. This has been a really great conversation. As I said,
Thank you.
right, just stay put in the studio and we'll bring you back on later so we can do our final wrap up.
Okay.
Right. So at this time, as we talked about Heart, we are going to go ahead and bring on our representative from Heart to join me here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me this afternoon.
Great
Thank you.
afternoon. Great to
Thank you.
have you here. I remember Mr. Johnson did a presentation. I'm sure I don't forget faces. He did a presentation for the Chamber of Commerce some time ago. Right, really awesome presentation. So it's great to have you in this space on the Serenity Resource Connector. And I know Heart has a whole lot of things offering. So share with us, or just first tell us about the department that you work in, set a little background, and then we can get into the specifics of the scholarships and grants.
No problem. So the name is Marlon Johnson. The team lead for the Apprenticeship MSME unit at the new revised Heart NSTA Trust. Now that carries two components. So work-based training, essentially anybody who apply will learn a skill on the job, because that's a different modality from the classroom, regular classroom learning. So
Right.
work-based training really involves you having 80% of your learning being done on the job and 20% in the classroom. And the ratio varies between 70-30 and 80-20. Good? So that's really
Right.
work-based training. But work-based training also incorporates a number of other variables, such as mentorship, which is a critical component as we see it now for our youth. Work-based training also give you a chance to really wet your foot and give you that so well needed work experience. Many times you see persons put an ad for employment and say you need to have X amount of years of experience. So when you learn on the job, you're automatically, as my grandmother would say, killing two birds with one stone, because you're getting the certification at the global level and you're also getting the on-the-job training and also mentorship. So it's really a 3 or 4 prong approach.
Yes, 4, because I love to say you earn while you learn.
Beautiful.
So that's
I never go to that part of it. I never even go into that part of it. We are also earning while we're learning.
Exactly. Exactly. Right, which is great stuff. We had a conversation last week about that, and I know that we have only scratched the surface. So of course we're gonna be going into deeper conversations in the week to come as it relates to that, to let persons understand the opportunities that are really available, and for the business community to be even more aware of how the programs work and how they can partner with Heart to provide more access for the young people so that we can keep the economy going.
Indeed.
Right. Yes. So let's talk about the funding opportunities, the scholarships, grants, and those things that are available.
All right.
And what they cover.
Okay, let's move to the MSME side. So as the trust, as a Heart NSTA trust, we believe, we're the national training agency of Jamaica. And we believe, and we do things in one loop. So how we believe if we can help small micro firms to start and hold their hands for some period of time and get them to a point where they can now employ, then we can provide them with the so well needed human capital that they need. So on an annual basis, what we do, we support first MSMEs, micro firms. And by definition, micro firms are those firms earning 15 million or less. And we give up to 10 million annually firms. No, we don't give them the money, we'll give them the input. So you apply and go through an approval process up to our board. And after you have been approved, then we give you the inputs of up to 1 million Jamaican dollars. But we don't just give you the money, We hold your hands for an additional 24 months. And what this includes? This includes networking with other persons in the area. This includes providing you with seminars, so you can have a great idea of how to do your books, how to get your business online, because that's the way to go now. Give your business based marketing, all these additional variables that may be more valuable than the 1 million that we're giving you upfront. So it's an all-encompassing thing. So that's an MSME support. We move to the training startup program. So any
before you go to the employees, that's that one. For the MSME, tell us, is it all the categories of MSME that you work with, or you have a select group that you work with?
Right. So I just said a select group. So by definition, you have different tiers of MSMEs. So we only give grants to micro firms because we want the impact on those who are, And the truth is, the micro firms, they don't necessarily pay attention to books and a proper business plan writing, and we want to provide that to them and help to build their business and properly formalize and give their business some amount of foresight. So we really focus by our policy on micro firms, those firms with a gross of less than 15 million Jamaican dollars.
And it can be whether in agriculture, or I could come to you as a consultant for support.
You have nine growth areas as identified by the government. Manufacturing, ICT, agriculture, but you can go and do the research. There are 9 growth areas. The truth is, most of these businesses fall within the 9 growth areas anyway. But we are focusing on the 9 growth areas as outlined by PIOG and STATI.
Right. You want to quickly share those, because we don't want to confuse persons now, because I was thinking that I might be able to access one for my business. And I'm not sure if I fall in that category.
No, man, I can tell that manufacturing, apparel, agriculture, ICT. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but there are 9 of them, and there are many. But the truth is, when we do and evaluate almost all business fall within the 9 growth sector. Anyway.
Okay, because of the linkages and all of those
supporting also good.
Supporting services.
Yes.
Okay, clear. All right. So let's move on to the next one.
Right. So we now have the training startup program. So on an annual basis, the trust would have trained over 100,000. The last time 120,000 trainees. Now, when you're a trainee of heart, all hard trainees are eligible for what we call a training startup grant. And this grant essentially means that when you're a trainee of heart, you can apply for the grant, and again, it's input of up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars. Now, it's not much, but for a young man in construction, he could buy a jackhammer, as they call it in the industry. Or for somebody in beauty services, she may buy a kit, one of those makeup kit, and that can fuel our thing. So it varies. Somebody in agriculture can buy some chicken and feed, or egg farming, whatever it is. Right. So we give you up to 100,000, but again, we don't just give it the input. We hold your hand for an additional 24 months through seminars, and we hold the hand of these startups even greater than how we hold the hand of the MSMEs, because the business would have been at a different level. So we hold the hand of them even greater, very close to our heart. We almost baby them as a child, because it's obviously a business, as a child, And they
Right.
creep with them, we walk with them, we learn to talk with them as we grow into a full-fledged business.
That sounds really great because that's the part that a number of the MS, especially the micro businesses, are not really aware of in terms of the hand-holding support. But for this that you're mentioning just now, in terms of the trainees, they would have gone through some heart program. So you'd have some additional information about them. So I can understand why they're really your babies, because they've been through the system and now you want to ensure that they're not left on their own. You're taking them, and not just that, you're giving them some input so that they can actually get started, and you don't just leave them there. You continue to provide them with support until you wean them. How
Yes,
long after do you wean them?
24 months. We hold their hands for 24 months. So it's
That's
a long 2 years
that's
of
a good.
holding their hands. Really.
Yes.
One of the beauty about heart also is the fact that most of our full NVQJ programs, they are exposed a unit in entrepreneurship, because we think entrepreneurship is one of the foundation, one of the pillars on which the economy sits.
Right.
So all our trades, whether it is you're in new services, construction, automotive, whatever it is you're in, you are
Yes.
exposed to making that skill and becoming an entrepreneur, because you want to start to think business and also as an employee.
Which is very important because
Critical.
there are a number of our young people, well, not just young people, in general, we have a number of people who they're great at whatever skills they have. But when it comes on to the business side, that is where the challenge is. And if you don't get that side right, then that is why we have so many businesses failing within short period of time, because we need to know that when you start operating a business, an entrepreneur, it means that you're taking on certain level of risk and responsibility, accountability, and you need to understand how that works. It means that if you used to get up 6 o'clock in the morning, you might need to start getting up 5 o'clock. So you develop certain level of discipline. And in terms of how you serve your clientele, you need to be able to understand that part, because it's not just about managing yourself. No,
Yeah.
because that's the key part. I hope you teach them that, in
You're
terms of
now a part
managing
of a
yourself.
brand. No, for our trainings too, we always tell you that you now represent a brand. Think about your business as a brand, and just think about the bigger companies. When a
Yes,
poor chair leaves, the stocks fall, and that's how the stock market works. So understand this concept. You now represent what is greater than you. You're now part of a larger brand, and we try to
that's
let
it.
them understand this. And let me just put this plug again. The new revised Heart NSTA Trust. I know I was focusing on youth, but the fact is, as a trust, we go the entire continuum, 17 to 150. Good, because we
Yes,
have now merged with the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning. As you know, persons my age called Jamal. But we have merged
yes,
with Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning, merged Youth Service. We have merged with the Apprenticeship Board, and of course, Legacy Art. So 4 large bodies come together to now make one revised NSTA trust, providing training certification on an entire continuum. So if Marlon Johnson is not numerator or literate, it's hard job to take him from where he is in Maidstone, Manchester, and train him, get what we call the HSD, which is the human literacy program. Take him from
right.
there, give him that program to the 5 subject, then take him from there and give him level 3 certification. We can move him to a level 4, which is an associate degree, and a level 5, which is a degree. So we take it along the entire spectrum, right up to a degree.
Losing you, Mr. Johnson.
Are you hearing me? You hearing me clear?
Yes, yes, we heard that you take them from a level 3 to level 4. I don't know if you said anything after that.
Right.
So it's a continuum.
Right up to level 5.
Level 5.
Level 5,
Okay.
which is the
Which is
degree level.
equivalent to?
Yes, right up to level 5.
What is that equivalent to?
A full-fledged degree. A level 5
At
degree.
heart.
So at heart, you can go to Portmore Heart Academy, which is a hard construction services, and go up to level 5.
And you're basically doing it at your own pace. And
Pace.
yes.
That is the nature of TVET. Now, TVET, you learn at your own pace. So it is not necessarily time bound, and then I wouldn't even go into cost as yet, because cost, when you come to heart to do a level, well, for a level 2 or 3, we don't charge a tuition fee. You pay, and I'm sure you'd have gone into that before me. You pay an administrative fee, which I think is between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on the institution. So believe me, colleagues, things are going on, and persons can access proper world-class education and training at the Heart NSTA Trust.
That's it. That is it. Because sometimes we think local, but the training prepares you to actually operate globally. So it's not that, okay, nothing is happening here in this area. What are the opportunities in the Caribbean and other countries that you can access now that you have your art certification?
Ms. Wita, people need to understand that anything you do in Jamaica, you are the leader in the Caribbean. I'm on a committee in the Caribbean that represent apprenticeship, work-based training. And they're looking to us to build out their model.
Say it a little louder for me. Jamaica is the creme de la creme of the Caribbean. Is that what you just said?
So anything you do in Jamaica, your leaders in the Caribbean, they are looking to us for leadership. So I'm on a committee, it's called SAGE, for the green economy. And the other Caribbean islands, they are looking to us to build out they're looking for a model yet, an apprenticeship model yet. So many of them are looking to us to build out their apprenticeship model. You know, so we need to understand and appreciate what we have. In a former life, I used to be at Jagas. Persons used to fly from Cayman Islands to come to Jagas for training and certification. Used to fly some students that are at school over there in Cayman, and they fly them every 3 months, come out here for training and certification. So we need to understand these things, that what we are doing here in Jamaica is big things.
Wow, I love it. And as Carolyn says, she loves this. And Carolyn is not even Jamaican; she's all the way over in Uganda.
Yes, that's a good program about the in Africa also. But finally, let me also speak to our incubator program. And the incubator program is dear to my heart. Now we offer an incubator program for small business, again, micro firms. So many times there are firms, businesses who want a space to operate from over a period of time. So they don't have to pay any rent, or they don't have to. So we offer an incubator program at our TVET colleges, HCIT, which is IT, Ebony Park, which is agriculture, and the Beauty Services School in Arthurtree there. So we offer and of course construction services. So we offer incubator services for our trainees, of course. So they again can, while just starting their business, build out the business, get a market for themselves as they're in a because the nature of an incubator is really a safe zone where you don't pay any light bill, any rent, all those overhead costs would have been taken away from you, so you can invest a lot more in the business.
Oh, okay. So how long is the incubator program for?
Again, 24 months, 2 years.
24 years of overhead covered.
24 months.
I said years just now. It sounds like years to me.
It's only 24
because
months.
24 months is really a decent period of time.
Yes.
So they're able to accumulate some funding so they can be able to go off into the different space.
Beautiful. And build out the market, because one of the key things for you while you're there is to build your market. We assist you because you're getting these seminars, you're getting this hand-holding, your business plan is being revised every couple of months, because a business plan is not static, as persons would know. You have to always have to look at your business plan, how COVID has changed this. all this. And you can now build while you're there getting all this training, you can also build out your market, get a digital face, all these things. And we provide this kind of training for you and support along the continuum.
This is really no wonder the heart team always seems so invigorated and always on fire and ready to go, because they really great. And I must say that heart has come a really far way in terms of the in terms of what we're seeing, and I think a big part of it is in terms of the merge of those different entities into one space where you're able to actually more effectively utilize the resources, and persons are able to see the transition easier. Well, from my perspective, I'm able to see it easier because there are some things that we weren't even aware that were affiliated with heart. Because we used to hear about the NYS, we used to hear about, but now that everything has come under one umbrella, it makes it easier for the average citizen to navigate and make the connection. But I have a question for you though, in terms of community groups, churches, and so on. What can be done in terms of the lifelong learning program to actually support those community-based
Right. So
organizations?
one of the beauty about our merger is that we now have a parish office. You know about Mr. Brown, Zico Brown there.
Oh yes.
Beautiful. It's the best. I one of the best parish managers there is. You have a very, 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 very good parish manager.
Pardon.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
the
So
best.
the truth is, one of the beauty about the merger is that you now have a designated parish manager for each parish to focus on the parish. And with that parish manager, you have a whole fleet of officers, a placement officer, an industrial liaison officer, a number of officers there to provide additional services right there and then. And what we're doing also, and you asked the question about the HSD and the lifelong learning,
Right.
we also have HSD officers these are officers who have the skills coming over from JFLL, who can now work with the churches, work with the community groups to start the programs in these. Because one of the things about the trust is that we're making it flexible, agile. So we're bringing the training to your steps. It's no longer a case where you have to go to one of the 27 institutions to get to access the training. We have a bus now that we can come and park somewhere in Clarendon so you can access certification. A whole bus with everything inside there, internet, bathroom, it's a whole community driving up and down. With me?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Heart in the heart of the community.
Heart in the heart of the communities, literally. So all those little nook and cranny where a person used to be, the mechanic for 30 years and not certified. Because the thing is, we and I personally believe strongly in the national 2030 vision. Place to live,
Very important.
business, very, very important. So all we do feeds into that. And of course, Vision One does speaking to increase access to education. And in all we're doing here is really to build the human capital of Jamaica. We know many will migrate. We explain that. We drivers, we train the drivers, we do some driving training in JPC. But we train the drivers, they migrate because they know that there's a certificate that they are a commercial driver. And they get easy money in Canada with that. So we know that, but it's our job to continue to train as many as humanly possible through partnership.
Right. Through partnership. That is really important. Right. Because even with migration, we still have because we can keep, once you keep trading and you're not having migration, then you'll have a pile up of these people with the same skills, and then they're saying they're not able to get any jobs, they're not able to get into this area, that area. So there's nothing really wrong with migration. It's just about the balance. And once you continue to train, and you always have new people coming in. So it's just about in terms of managing the different areas to see, do we have too many hairdressers in this particular local? How can we assist them in making the transition, that kind of?
That's one of the beauty, if I mean. That's one of the plus about work-based training. So when you work on the job, we are not training in a vacuum. We're training
Oh,
to industry standards. We're
right,
training areas that the industry is asking for. We have a partnership now with Jampro. We call it GSS project, Global Service Sector project, where we have apprentices in the different what you know as BPO areas.
right,
We're working with these firms because we know that as soon as the COVID numbers are managed and persons, our muscle memory get used to COVID, that particular sector will grow. And there'll be
right.
need for persons at the supervisory level. So we're now partnering with Jampa. We're training some 600 supervisors in the different firms in the global service sector to industry standards. These are standards developed by industry, being taught by persons within industry as we move along the
Right.
continuum. So that's one of the plus about work-based training. You're training to standard. And I must say this, say this also. One of the plus, because many times our employers don't understand the benefits of having a good apprenticeship work-based training program. A number of benefits. One, it,
Okay.
it reduces your onboarding costs. Anybody who knows about employment and HR knows it's very expensive to onboard a new staff member. You have to train them to your way. You have to do all of this. You have to
Yes.
you have to make sure that they understand the standards, the whole 9 yards. So when you have a proper apprenticeship program, you have a large pool of persons out there knowing your Toyota way, knowing whatever business you're in, and you can always pull on them. Another thing is that loyalty. When you create a pool of persons out there that your firm gave them their first job, your firm gave them a chance to learn on the job, to be trained and certified. They'll be anywhere they go in the world, they'll be loyal to you. They'll always sell your brand. You know what? I learned this at this place. This is where I started out. And you now become a critical and an integral part of their story. So
Oh, yes.
it benefits you economically, it benefits you socially. So this is a number of benefits. And of course, they are learning and earning. So when you talk about their benefits, but you as an employer too also benefits a lot.
Oh, yes. Because for the on-the-job training, I know that the format has changed somewhat in terms of the partnership arrangements. But I remember I was sharing with one of your team members in a previous episode that uh, there was a time when Hart would have taken care of the stipend. So what would happen is that the employer would basically be partnering to provide that on-the-job training while Hart would take care of the ongoing personal development side of things and in terms of the stipend to ensure that they report to work and all of that. And a number of those trainees ended up staying on at some of the once their space available and based on their performance, they end up staying with the organization for some time. So it's really great. It's a win-win situation because
Everybody wins. The country wins,
yes,
the employer wins, the trainee wins. Everybody wins when you employ the work-based model.
yes, it's really a fascinating journey. Really fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thank
Not
you.
seeing our next guest as yet. We are running out of time. We try to keep it within the hour. We've had some engaging conversations with the Jamaica 4-H Club and the Heart NSTA Trust. Really wanted to have that conversation with Dr. Tomlinson. So I trust she'll be able to get here before we run out of time so we can share some of the good things that's happening at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. There's some exciting cutting edge skills training program that we really wanted to get some additional information on, plus the scholarships that they have available. Nevertheless, we will get you that information one way or the other. All right. Stay on, Mr. Johnson, Miss Carr. Oh, Doc is here. All right, let's take Doc. I'm gonna ask our viewers to allow us to go a little over the hour this time. to allow for some additional information. These entities are just filled with power-packed information and resources, and we don't want you to miss a beat. So let me bring on Doc while Mr. Johnson will be able to come back on in a little while to do the wrap-up. Doc,
Hi, thank you so
great
very
to
much.
have you. I hope they're not working you too hard over there, you know.
Well, it's all about the students. It's that time of the year, so we're here for them and just trying to make their entrance into university a very successful one and a seamless one as well.
That's the nature of serving, eh?
That's it.
Yes. So really great to have you. And we'll just get right into you sharing about remind us of those cutting edge skills area that you mentioned in the very first episode. We're at episode 4. Can you believe it now? You were here for the first one.
Yes, I was.
Yes, and we're at episode 4 now. So share with us those 4 areas and how they can get in, can
Okay.
access those. Yes.
So good afternoon to all our viewers. My name is Dr. Lilith Tomlinson, and I'm currently the Vice Principal at the University of the Commonwealth Academy. And UCC is our household name. So we, by extension, are the TVET arm, and by TVET we mean the technical vocational arm of the university. And we offer what we refer to as market-ready programs. So you can enter the academy. First of all, as you all know, at this time we're talking about the sixth form integration program, otherwise known as the K-13 program, to extend school life to another 2 years. So I should make that clear as well, because that's very important. So what the UCC has done is that we have forged a partnership between ourselves and the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. And students who are now leaving fifth form will have an opportunity to basically commence their university life. So they can choose to do one of our traditional programs, associate degree. And when they do that associate degree, they can automatically use those initial credits to matriculate into our bachelor's program. So when they have completed the 2 years of their associate degree, they will just do an extended 2 years to complete their bachelor's degree. Now, we have many students who are saying, okay, I don't want to do traditional academics. I want to go into areas such as logistics and supply chain management. I want to do renewable energy. I want to do construction site management. Gone are the days that people try to segment and label you based on what you do. Actually, it is the skills that are running things. And it was very interesting, Winsome, that when you even reviewed in the COVID, the persons who were given exemption to be on the road during the lockdown, I happened to scroll through that list.
Skills.
And it was the skills people.
Yes.
Construction, or they had special skills. So it shows you where, and the fact that those sectors were allowed to come out on the road, it shows you where the money is flowing, right?
Oh, so, yes.
CVET areas are definitely major as we even reflect on the 4th industrial revolution. That is where a lot of employment opportunities, both locally, regionally, and internationally, is being generated. So we want to say to everyone that at the university, we have what we refer to as a TVET arm of the university. So what happens is that when you leave fifth form, you can now enroll under the K-13 program to be a part of either section of the university. We offer scholarship as well on either side. So the traditional school fee is $150,000 per semester. However, once you're under the scholarship, it's $150,000 per year. So with the scholarship, the student would pay the difference between the $150,000 and the government gives a scholarship of $80,000. So then they would, by extension, pay the $70,000. There is absolutely nowhere else they can get quality education and associate degree at that cost. So nobody wants to not seize the moment. Now, if they say, okay, I don't want to do traditional, they can then enter on the TVET arm of the university, and that's when they would do one of those programs. And the cost under the K-13 program, if you are a 2021 graduate, then they would pay absolutely no school fee, so to speak, only the miscellaneous fees, right? So that's Awesome. I think everybody, wherever they are right now, they should begin to start registering.
Oh yes.
You don't have to wait until you get your subjects back from sexy. We know there's a lot happening right there as we speak.
Right.
So they don't have to wait until the results are out. When the results actually get in, what they would then do is that they would just bring in those matriculation and upload, I would say, as well, because in today's society, nobody has to come in, so to speak, to do much. You can do basically everything online. So
I love that.
yes, you can do absolutely. That's one thing about the academy and by extension the university. We're very, very technologically driven. So persons can do basically everything online. But of course, observing the COVID protocols, we're here face to face, so to speak, all mask up to assist whoever it is that would need assistance. Because you have that parent or you have that child who say, listen, I know I see it online, but I still need some additional support. We're here to assist you as well. So
Right.
remember, scholarships are available. If you're not a 2021 graduate, you can still come to the university. The tuition fee is $90,000 plus the miscellaneous fees. And we have excellent payment arrangements. Our Student Financial Services Committee is always willing to assist you and to work with you. We are quite cognizant of the current economic situation. So we're here to assist. So once you want to engage somebody, you can call our numbers 906-3000 and somebody will direct your query, and we definitely will try to assist in whatever way possible. In terms of modality, we are going to go what we call, first initially, it's going to be online as we try to respond to what is happening, as you can see. And then based on the adjustments, we'll do what we call a high flex model, especially in the first semester. We know that there are some core subjects such as mathematics and possible computers that some students probably grasp better if they have a more, what I would call a more intimate face-to-face approach. So we do have e-classrooms that we lecture from. So while a segment of the population is basically face-to-face, those who are still within their own locale, they'll be able to benefit as well from the experience. So that is something that is going to be what we're going to be experiencing. So it's online, or it is what we call a hybrid iFlex model that we're currently utilizing. So once you're interested in either the traditional academic side or you're interested in the TVET arm, there's a scholarship arrangement. On the traditional side, the courses available would be BizAd, tourism, computer, paralegal. Those are some of the options. And on the TVET side, you have, just to repeat, we have renewable energy, we have logistics and supply chain management, construction site management, BPO, we have an allied health. And I must say that the logistics and the allied health seem to be the more dominant ones. So based on last year's intake and this year's intake, those are two of the more popular ones. So we're here for you. So don't sit at home having heard this information. Please don't wait on your results and be in the rush. Apply now, engage us, and we're here to assist you because we are bent on extending the kingdom of the mind.
Oh, I love that. The kingdom of the mind. I really, really love that. I suppose those two areas that you mentioned in terms of the high take-up, that's where the money is.
Yeah, well, nurses, especially relating to geriatric care, especially in the overseas market, there's always a demand for them. So, and logistics, with all that's happening with the logistics hub and expansion in trade and so on, those seem to be the more dominant areas.
Okay, so our people are positioning themselves for the opportunities.
They definitely are
here and those on the horizon.
Definitely.
Love it. Really love it. Thank you so much, Doc. And you made it so concise. So we're just a minute over the hour, just in time to do the wrap up. And gonna bring back on our other two guests to do share their final thoughts for the institution. So we had conversations with Jamaica 4-H clubs, with Heart NSTA Trust, and with Dr. Tomlinson from the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Some really amazing things are happening in these different entities right here in Jamaica. So in spite of all that's happening around us, the opportunities are endless, And so let me invite, I'm going to allow the ladies to go first, Mr. Johnson, the way we do it. So, Doc, they said the last shall be first. And
Well, as I've been encouraging everyone to do, apply, apply, apply. You want to give yourself that option. You don't want to wait and then you're indecisive and then the semester has started, because as you can imagine, starting in October, based on the results coming out, we understand in the second week of October, we're way into the semester in terms of normal, how we would have planned. So I say so don't wait until that time. And those students who already have their matriculation documents and probably waiting on a one subject or so, or you just didn't start last year, start uploading those. And for the UCC students, there is a registration link. You need to also register. If you are an existing student, you need to also register to show that you're coming back. So a lot is happening. Make UCCA your university of choice. It will be an experience beyond an experience.
I just love these interesting nuggets that are being shared. All right, Miss Carr, Jamaica 4-H clubs. What are your final thoughts for today?
All right. Okay. All right. So at this time, I'll say to or youth persons, young persons who are studying agriculture in the parish of Manchester, St. Anne, and St. Catherine, we ask that you visit the Jamaica 4-H Club website or the 4-H parish offices for your application form. The call is out now. It ends November 26th. We want you to apply for the scholarships and bursaries, and that we continue to encourage and to implore young people to continue to study in agriculture as we try to increase our economic development.
That's it. All about the development. Thank you so much, Ms. Carr. And the king in the midst of us, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much. Well, my final words really is that to encourage the national training agency is here for you. The new revised NSTA trust is here for you. Wherever you are in the country, visit your parish office. We now have an office for every single parish, including Portmore, which is the 15th parish. So we're ahead of the government already. So we have 15 parish managers. So please access your parish office, because there are a whole fleet of benefits. So wherever you are, training and certification continuum. If you are not numerate, if you are not literate, the trust is here for you. Thank you very much for having us, and we appreciate Jamaica. Let's leave nobody behind.
What was that, Sir Johnson?
Let's leave nobody behind.
Oh no, not at all. We're not leaving anyone behind at all. And that's why we are here in this one space, connecting the resources so that you can see exactly where you need to go to navigate. And I'm sure if you go to heart and there's an area that you're looking at that you're not offering, they'll be able to point you in another direction, because not only are you learning by virtue of these different entities coming in this space, they're learning about other entities who are offering other areas. And I'm sure they're not going to be selfish, because they want to ensure that you're able to continue so that we can build back stronger. And so they'll be happy to point you in the direction that you ought to go. So we continue to share the information. We don't want to keep these videos sitting here. The beauty about it is that it won't take up any space on your phone. Just share the link. Just share the link. We have Miss Carol saying informative session. Kudos to all three agencies. Kudos indeed. Really great job in representing your organizations and sharing the information, the resources that are available. So we continue to encourage our young people, the young at heart, because it's not just for those leaving high school. There are opportunities for those who have left high school for some time, might not have finished high school. There's still hope. Just go on out, access the different resources so that you'll be properly guided, so that we can continue to move forward. We thank you so much for joining us again. It has been 4 weeks. And we make a wrap on this segment of opportunities for high school leavers. So next week, we're going to be looking at another segment in terms of those entities who are offering support in terms of job placement. For those who are looking to get into the job market, we're going to be talking about where you can go to get that kind of support. You're not so sure how to fix up the resume to make it presentable to go out there. We're going to bring that to you right here on the Serenity Resource Connector as to where you can go to get the support to get it done so that you can get moving. Because as Mr. Johnson said, we're not leaving anyone behind. We want to ensure that each Jamaican recognize that there are opportunities out there. You don't have to do it alone, and we're going to connect you with the people that you need to go to get moving in the right direction. I will share a video in a little while to close the show, but I must say thank you in a big way to Shagori Aggregates, Cousins Construction, and National Wholesale that came on board to ensure that we continue with this Serenity Resource Connector. My heart is really, really blessed by the kind gesture and the partnership, and we just continue to work together to build back stronger so that we can make Jamaica better for those of us who are here and those who are coming behind us. Thank you so much. Join us again, same time, same place next week as we have another conversation with some of these agencies and others on the Serenity Resource Connect. Thank you again
Thank you very much for having
for
us.
joining. All
Thank
right.
you very much for having us.
My
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me.
Thank you.
All right. Awesome. And please continue to stay safe. Thanks to those who joined us live and for those who will be watching the rebroadcast. Thank you so much. Continue to share the information. God bless.